Hello, my little bunnies. Welcome to Huggy Tales. Today, I have a story of a brave, kind-hearted girl called Snow White and her tiny 7 buddies who helped her in an amazing way. So let's wiggle our toes, snuggle up tight, and get started. Long, long ago, in a pretty kingdom, there lived a little princess called Snow White. Her skin was as white as snow, her lips were red as apples, and her hair was black as the dark sky. Snow White was loved by everyone except one person, her stepmother. The stepmother didn't like Snow White at all. Every day, her stepmother used to stand in front of the magic mirror and ask the mirror, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?" Then the mirror says, "You, my queen." And the queen used to be very, very happy. But one day, the mirror said, "It is Snow White." The stepmother got really angry. She ordered the huntsman to take Snow White to the forest, wishing that she would never come back again. The huntsman took Snow White to the forest, but didn't feel like harming Snow White. He told her, "Run away, princess, run away, and never come back again to the castle. Go deep into the woods and stay there for long." So Snow White walked into the deep and dark forest. She heard the owls hooting and the leaves rustling. She walked and finally reached a cottage which had tiny windows and tiny doors, and everything tiny indeed. She knocked at the door, but no one was there. "Hello, is there anyone?" But as no one was there, she pushed it open and entered. She was too tired that she cuddled herself in one of the beds and slept. After sunset, there came 7 little dwarfs into the cottage. They had funny names too. They were Doc, Dumpy, Grumpy, Happy, Bashful, Sleepy, and Whiny. All the seven dwarfs entered the room to see a beautiful girl lying on their bed. "Who is this pretty girl?" asked Bashful. "Let's wake her up," said Grumpy. Once Snow White woke up, she wasn't scared but surprised to see 7 funny-looking dwarfs. She told them all what happened and about the queen. "Don't worry," said the dwarfs. "You can stay here as long as you want, but be careful because the queen is wicked and can trick you further." From the next day onwards, Snow White and the 7 dwarfs were friends. She cleaned the cottage, she used to cook food for them, and even sing songs. They enjoyed their days. Meanwhile, in the castle, the queen wasn't happy knowing that Snow White was alive. She disguised herself as an old peddler and went to the house of the dwarfs. "Apples, juicy apples," said the wicked queen. Snow White opened the door to see an old peddler selling juicy apples. "Would you like a juicy apple?" asked the wicked lady. Snow White believed and trusted everyone and took a bite of the juicy apple. And Snow White bit the poison apple and fell asleep. In the evening, while the dwarfs came to the cottage, they found Snow White still and asleep. They tried to wake her up, but all their attempts were in vain. Placed her in a glass coffin and surrounded it with flowers and put her in the forest, and they stayed there awake day and night. As days passed, a prince was riding into the forest when his eyes struck on this beautiful girl. He got out his horse and walked to the princess. He kissed Snow White in her forehead, and then the spell broke. Snow White opened her eyes, fluttering and happy to see a new friend. "Hooray!" said the dwarfs. "We got Snow White back." The prince had asked Snow White to come to the castle, and from that day, Snow White was with the prince and married him. But Snow White promised that she would always visit whenever she could, and all of them lived happily ever after. So that's the story of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. If you like the story, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to click the subscribe button for more magical adventure. Till we meet again, keep smiling. Bye.